Oh, hello.
Whoa!
Whoa! Hey,
You're doing
everybody.
it again. So
We're
cool.
back. We
We
are
are.
back. Welcome, everybody. Home Assistant Release Party, 10th of the year, 2025.10 release, which is the end is near of this year's releases, which is
Yeah,
I'm glad
end
you
is
said
near.
of the releases. End is near. Oh God.
we have a great team today. We have a lot of fun people here. I'll just do a quick. Well, everybody has to introduce themselves, so I'll start off. I'm Paulo Schoutse, president of the Open Home Foundation, founder of Home Assistant.
I'm Missy Quarry, community and social media manager. I absolutely almost forgot the second half of my title. Head of shitposting.
Oh, don't worry, I would have remembered. Hi, I'm Frank, and I'm the lead of the Home Assistant project.
Hi, I'm Aidan, and I'm on the front-end team.
And I'm Jello, and I'm the lead of product and design at the Open Home Foundation.
All right. And we're here today for 2025.10, as Paul has already pointed out. October, scary month, right? Halloween.
Yeah.
Well,
Going to do anything special?
No. Well, technically, I'm wearing spooky stuff, but you can't tell it's low key. Yeah. It's Nightmare Before Christmas themed. So this is a shirt of all these potions, and then this has it's a Christmas sweater, ugly sweater style of
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. It's one of my favorite low key Halloween and Christmas outfits because yes, it is both.
Oh, nice. Yeah, but most of all, because it's October release, it also means that Home Assistant and Nabukasa just had their birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Paul. Happy birthday, everyone.
Yeah.
This is so cool. 12, right?
12. Yeah. It's kind of
nuts.
fascinating. And it's we're just getting started, I feel. Like the things we're building, the things we're doing, the things we're just kind of pushing out. There's so many amazing projects in progress. And so many cool things brewing in the community that I can't wait for everyone to see and get their hands on it, which includes this release, by the way. But there's other things coming in the next few months as well. So super stoked. Thanks you all for being part of our community. And we collect a bunch of cool stories about Home Assistant, all the things that people are doing with it. And it just always keeps fascinating me, right? Like the things that are just happening that oh, I run it in my RV. Oh, I just do some
my factory
AI stuff on my chickens or whatever, right? Like there's so much.
The chicken coop one.
One of the stories in this blog post was someone who used it to help track sleeping data for their doctors so they can get a proper diagnosis for their child. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice. There's, by the way, somebody asking if there are any Easter eggs in this release. Not in this release, but there's one in this page, actually, this blog post with Missy wrote here. It's on our website right now, but I'm going to try to kick. Yes, look at that.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. So there's one thing there, at least. Yeah. No, birthday is great. It's good to see that we're already in 12 years. We're not in 12 months yet this year, so that's good. There's still 2 releases to come, which is super, super exciting. I'm looking forward to whatever's coming. But for today, we need to start talking about the release.
Well, before we do the release, let's talk about a few things that are happening. The first thing is DuckDuckGo donated $50,000 to the Open Home Foundation. So we're super grateful for that. We're going to spend that money on building more tools and more Home Assistant and more ESP Home and more Music Assistant and all the good things you know from us. DuckDuckGo likes us because we care about privacy and we care about you, the user, and they do too. And so they like to share some of their money each year. They donated to us, to Signal, to EFF, a bunch of other stuff. We are super happy to be again among the recipients. They also donated to us last year, where they actually became the first donor to the Open Home Foundation. So very happy to have their support again. In other news as well, I guess is meetups. There's
Yeah.
three. Missy, you want to talk about those?
Yeah. We've actually ended up getting one more added on this morning when I created the San Francisco one. But for GitHub Universe, we're going to have a few of us there, myself, Frank, and Yost. You guys might see him around in the GitHub helping you out with your integrations. We'll all be there for GitHub Universe, while Paulus and Miranda and Dominic are actually heading down to Southern California and San Diego for Z-Wave Alliance, correct?
Z-Wave Alliance Member Summit, yes.
Yeah. So that's not nearly as fun. So we decided Paulus and Miranda need an actual meetup to see you guys, because otherwise you're not going to see them at a closed event. So we've got actually 2 events set up for a whole California party the same day. So on October 27th, we will have a meetup in San Francisco, and we will have a meetup in San Diego with different people. So those are on our Luma page. I'll put the link in there. But we actually have a couple other worldwide ones. The funny thing is that on the same day, but New Zealand time, so October 27th, New Zealand time, they just put up a smart home IoT thing. So there's like a AI and ML in the smart home event that just went up today. Nice. And then there's one in Hassel on November 28th. So we've actually got that. Yeah. So we've got 4 up right now. 2 of them are officials. Those are with us. And then the other 2 are community led. They're just putting up their meetups and sharing it out with their local communities.
And what's really cool is that we actually made a dedicated page to track all this. You can also, if you are organizing an event for our community, put it up there. Like, just reach out to Missy, ping her on Discord. We'll get the page up. I think you can just even upload it yourself on Luma. Is it?
Yeah. They can all do it themselves. We've got assets available for them. Let me drop the community page link that we have for you that I announced in the anniversary blog, because that actually has all of the instructions and things you need to get it started.
And there are more people using Home Assistant that are in your community, in your area, than you think, probably. So,
yes.
We've always, the ones we attend, like, they range from like 40, 50 people to like over 200, I think, Frank, you had in Utrecht.
Over 200, yeah, that was crazy
over
stuff.
200. We had to cap it. Yeah,
I actually was looking at the link. I should have shared my screen. Actually, that would have been better. Where's my screen? Anyways, let me fix that in a bit. I wanted to drop it in, but I failed horribly. Let me fix that. Here we go. This is community page that Missy is linking. Actually, I was scrolling through it, and I noticed the music from Utrecht. That's a picture. So cool. Thank you so much for that. But there are many more in there, which is just very fun. Look, it's hidden there. Oh, wow. This is Berlin. That was recently, actually.
Yep. Our graphic artist, Clelia, actually went through and selected some that she really liked from the full collection of all the photos from meetups we have, including the ones that people shared on social media for us from community days. So the Utrecht was is one of those examples, because that did go up on socials. So.
All in all, if there's such a meetup in your neighborhood, go there. It's, besides meeting, have the possibility of meeting one of us, maybe, or maybe it's just a community meetup in general. That's fun too. But it's just so nice being able to talk to like-minded people that share this hobby. And there are many of us. It feels so normal to be in those meetups in a way. I don't know.
And the foundation wants to make sure you're supported in that. So there's information on that page that explains how we can help support you if you actually want it. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm absolutely happy to help you get organized.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. I mean, when we say support, we not only just assets and promotion, but there's reimbursements, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have reimbursements based on the numbers that you registrants you get on your Luma page. So there are very specific requirements you have to meet for it. But what we've do for is stickers. The host is allowed to buy a Home Assistant shirt for themselves and help pay with the venue depending on the size. And then also depending on how far you travel, we may actually help you out with travel reimbursement. So all of the details are available publicly for everybody to actually review to see how the foundation helps you guys out.
Yeah. So go check it out. And the community page, just on the Home Assistant website, just click on community.
Yep. Thank you.
Awesome.
Good.
So, do we got more? Or is it time for like demos? Because I think we should just like do demos.
I don't know. Do we have any other new Home Assistant work with Home Assistant partners?
Nope. Not this month. We talked about all of them last release, actually. The last release party. So that's actually pretty nice. The thing that we didn't talk about, but we could like talk about later, is the AI stuff. But I'm pretty sure we.
I think if you're into AI, we published a blog post kind of saying what the current state of AI is in Home Assistant, the things you can do. A bunch of stuff got extended in this release, so JLo is going to demo that anyway. So if you want to see a recap, basically, of where Home Assistant is at, if you want to get all the AI stuff going, check out that blog. It's called Building the AI-Powered Local Smart Home.
Yep. All right, and then for the main event, the release of this month, right? Yeah. and this month is a bit of a, I would almost say a bit of everything. Yeah, it's more of I would almost say maintenance release, but that's not true. That's not really fair. That's not fair to say.
Iterative one?
Yes, that is the terminology I'm looking for. We are iterating on the things that we've released, basically last release or previous releases. So the automation editor is a big team. Last release, we introduced the sidebar, which, by the way, I think was an epic addition to what we've been doing with the automation and planning on doing with the automation editors. And we did the home dashboard. So this release, we actually are processing the feedback we got from every single one of you, either through Discord or through the form that was in the blog post or any other means of communication you prefer. But we've been collecting a lot of them and processing a lot of that feedback this release. So there's a lot of quality improvements in here with basically things you all wanted, which is great, I think. So this makes this release actually pretty freaking beautiful. Automations, I guess.
Shall we dive directly by demos? Yeah.
Yeah, who's going to demo this one?
Me.
You? Okay. Oh, here we go.
I was just trying, like, while we start the stream, right? I wanted to do that demo with 2 wake words, but
it's okay, Paulus, I'm ready.
Oh, okay, my demo unit is that.
We're so well prepared for these.
We prepared the demo like 15 seconds before the demo, but yeah.
I have one. Any of you have one.
Of course.
Everyone has one, yeah. Automation editor. As Frank was saying during the last release, we changed a bit the layout of the automation editor. The big change, more or less, the TLDR, is that we splitted the flow and the content. So the flow is on the main section, and then the content was basically put aside on the sidebar. And then, as Frank said, we are trying to be more open in the way we work, even more than before. One of the things that we are trying to work on is how to collect feedback and how to iterate on it also in the open. And this release is really like an increment or an iteration of this. So we processed, I would say, 4 main feedbacks, and then we get a few more additions on this new layout. And I'm going to go through all of them, right? The first one, which I think is actually it's not the biggest one, but it's a big one, is related to the size of the sidebar, especially if you have tasks that are a bit too big, especially if you have like maybe YAML blocks on specific tasks, or even if you have a full YAML block. The feedback was mostly, but which makes sense when you see this screen, right? It was like, now I need to work on this very small screen. It's a bit weird. We still had the button to basically go full screen, but this is also a bit extreme. And now there is something very simple, which you can just resize the sidebar. So you can resize the sidebar based on what you are working on. We still believe that sometimes you have to work on the flow. We still believe that sometimes you have to work on the content. As simple as that. You pick the layout you want, and then we keep it in memory for that session. So if I close this one, reopen a new one, that will be the same size. I can resize it as I go, more or less, which is a nice addition. More or less.
How it remembers where it is basically bound to your device, right? So if you do this on your tablet versus your desktop, it can be different, right? It's not like you open your tablet, everything is out of sync and out of whack all of a sudden. So that's bound indeed to device.
And again, it makes sense because we think that it's a device setting because it's a screen setting, more or less. So this was the first one. The second one is linked to copy and pasting. During the last release, we introduced shortcut for copying and cutting. Unfortunately, we did not release a shortcut for pasting, which was a bit weird, but also a bit more complex because you can paste a bit everywhere. Actually, you know what? Let me just open a new automation that is more complex because I need to show you why it was complex. So like this one is okay-ish complex, I would say. There is a bit of things everywhere. The pattern now is very simple. You highlight a block, you press Ctrl-C, or you can also do it with the copy action there. You go to any other block of the same type. So for example, that's a trigger. I can go anywhere I want and I can physically find a trigger. I don't know if I have a wait for trigger there. I don't, but let's say here, and I just press Ctrl-V, and it's going to be inserted just below.
Nice.
For triggers, it's not really important because they are not really ordered, but I can do the same thing on, for example, anything else. So this is a condition. I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to go to that thing. It's a condition also, or even this one, paste. And it's just basically pasting below that. Same thing for action. So again, I'm going to take this action. I'm going to paste it, I don't know, there, 3 times. This is now using the clipboard. So behind the scene, we are actually copying YAML, which means that it is working cross-screen. It's working everywhere, more or less. Even if like a friend sends you like a YAML block somewhere, then you can basically copy it and you can paste it the same way that I'm showing right now. So pretty cool.
Yeah, and there was when we shipped copy-paste last release in the 0.0 release, we had a little bug. I don't know if people noticed it, but like if you were to hit Command copy while you had it editing the text in the sidebar, we would actually trigger.
Exactly like this. If you were copying this, right? We don't anymore now. You can also copy and paste this like normally, which kind of makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah. It's just like we're presenting this as if this is like a very big new feature.
No, it's not.
It's actually just behaving as you expect it to be, which is beautiful. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just,
but it is interesting because like Yellow was saying, YAML on the clipboard, like there's a lot of technical complexity to copy and paste, right? Like we think of it as users like, oh, it just works. But that is like, we cannot just access your clipboard unless you hit paste, for example. So we can be proactive, like, oh, we see you have something cool on your clipboard, these kind of things.
It was actually a bit complex to bring, and we had to take a few, like, let's say, decision. There are ways, if you really push it further, to basically unsync a bit everything, but I'm not going to go into details because it should not happen. But yes, it's kind of working. It's working very well. I see, which is a link to what Paul said. Can I paste the whole automation? And yes, because it's basically just YAML. So actually, if I go to this one and I basically take the whole YAML, so for example, I could send this whole YAML to you. I'm just going to stop this one. I can create a new automation and I can just basically Ctrl-V the whole thing. If I already have something in context, for example, now we have something in context, I have this thing. If I do Ctrl-V and it's like a more complex block than just a trigger, an automation, condition, or an action, we are going to provide you with a small dialog saying, what do you want to do? Like, because this is too complex for us to just append somewhere. So do you want to replace the whole thing or do you want to append? And if you click on append, we are going to append all of the triggers after triggers, all of the conditions after conditions, and all of the actions after actions.
Do it.
But you can just, I can append, and basically I will have twice the automation.
Big mess.
Yes, big mess, exactly, yeah.
What I like about this feature specifically is that if you go into the forums or into like our documentation or whatnot, and you see an example snippet, and the way to communicate it up until this day still is a piece of YAML, right?
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
shown. You can actually just copy and paste it into your automation and use that example trigger you've seen or anything else and just paste it directly into here. And it just works, right? It either merges it into this automation, or on a blank one, you can paste in a full automation you found. It's just makes things so much easier than going into
yeah, exactly. Yeah. How does it work on mobile? Very similarly and a bit different. There are a few things that you cannot do on mobile, but most of the things you can do. So how do you copy on mobile? Very easily. There is an overflow menu there, like the small 3 dots, and you click on copy.
Oh, is it there, J-Lo?
Yeah, so it's a small. It's fine. So let's go to mobile. Actually, let's go to mobile. So no, actually, I'm not going to go to mobile because otherwise the stream is going to look weird. But you get the point. So this is how you copy on mobile. Copy, and then to paste it on mobile, you click on Add Trigger, and there is this block where you paste. So the only thing that you cannot do, and you cannot paste something in the middle of a list. But then now we have drag and drop also on mobile. So you basically paste it there, and you just basically move it. So it's still possible. You cannot just insert something in the middle of like a 12 action sequence. At the end of the sequence, you will have an add action button. You will click paste, and you will be able to drag and drop wherever you want. So it is similar, not as optimized as we have on big screen.
But I've also noticed just now, and I'm not sure why I haven't noticed that in any of my working before, but if you now hit the 3 dots menu there, you actually see the shortcut keys and the command keys, the hotkeys they're listed as well, which is a pretty nice discoverability. And this is a freaking nice reference. I think that makes it so clear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, next one. I don't remember next one. Okay, so next one. Okay, I'm going to cut a bunch of things. I'm going to basically break my automation. So I'm going to cut this.
No,
dude, this, and I'm going to cut this whole thing.
You haven't saved this one yet.
I can save it. Save. Okay. We can undo. Did I undo everything? Because I don't want to break everything. I guess I undo everything.
Just undo until it stops. Yeah.
Yes. Save. Okay, done. So you can undo and you can redo. Let me just save this one so that I yes, I was brave to do that. Before this release, the only way to get out of a situation was if it was unsaved, you were closing and reopening and starting from scratch. If it was saved, nothing. More or less, like we don't help you. Now we are allowing you to undo and redo up to 75 steps in your automation editor. Actually, sorry, because I talked about save and I made a weird demo about save. There will be a caveat about save afterwards, but just hear me out. So when you do like changes, any changes, for example, moving this or changing something from on to off, whatever, then basically you can undo either by clicking on these 2 buttons, undo and redo, or you can basically just Control Z and Control Y. So I'm going to undo one, it's going to be now back to on, I'm going to undo another one, and the order of the triggers, which again doesn't make a lot of sense, is going to be back to where it was. And now the button is grayed out because the stack is over, but the stack is still saved. So again, Control Y again, I can Control Z again, basically I can do whatever I want. Right, so, and it works like any type of Control Z feature on any software. So it works after save. If you get out and you come again, it doesn't work. So this is why I was saying, like for the save one, don't really play, like don't be too bold, but still it works.
Don't be too bold.
Don't be too bold for the save one. If you save something bad and you go out, then basically you lose the stack. But still, it's interesting.
Yeah, that was the question here as well. When the undo history resets.
Yeah, refresh page, or just leave. So it's really made for when you make a mistake when you work. It's not made for like a version history, like you come back 2 weeks later and you can undo what you did. For now. But this is what we have here.
Well, why is it not Control-Shift-Z for
I don't know.
redo?
I don't know. What is the... Actually, to be fair, I don't know. I thought that Control-Y was the standard. We are trying to follow standards.
Yeah, but look, you have a French keyboard. There is no such thing as like maybe...
Standard?
But I don't have a French keyboard. It's a QWERTY keyboard.
I Control-Shift-Z is for me also redo, at least in my muscle memory.
I never redo stuff. That's my problem. I never knew.
Well, Control-Shift-Z doesn't work. So
No, that's the bug.
I'm used to Control Y from Windows, but I know it's something different on Mac, and I've not got the hang of it.
That is probably the reason why. I don't know. We should definitely check this.
I will ask Marcin if we can maybe have 2 of them, or if we can make a small research on that. But it's
we can even on Windows show one, and then on the other normal operating systems the other one.
Normal.
Yeah, we can support both, I guess. Okay.
I feel the Claude deep research.
Yeah. Let's do that.
By the way, this is a community contribution from JP. So the undo redo has basically been done by JP. So thank you.
Well done, JP. It's absolutely stunning. It's one of the highlights in this release. So I
was actually looking at some videos before joining the live stream, and some YouTubers are saying like that's the highlight, which is what I love about how we work and how we work openly. So that's cool.
Yep.
And then the last one is very small. Also, technically, it was out one release ago, and we just forgot to talk about it. It's very small, and it's not that important because it doesn't really impact the layout. But when I was analyzing a bit all of the blocks and all of the things, because we are working on every trigger, condition, and action for the next releases, we found out that there is a lot of complexity on one of the building blocks, which is the repeat building blocks, which is kind of one of the most advanced block. It allows you to repeat sequence of action based on whatever you want. And most of the complexity was like self-imposed or virtual. It's just because we are trying to shove too many use cases into a single block. So now we basically broke it down. So when you go to building blocks on the action side, there are 4 types of repeats. It's a cosmetic change. On the YAML side, nothing changes. But at least we are able to get nice descriptions because some of them are tricky to understand. Now with the description, it's a bit simpler. You have a repeat for each, which is repeating for, well, that's the most complex one. Let's just skip it. You have a repeat multiple times, which is the simplest one, which is just number of times. Like I want to repeat this like 5 times. And then basically you put your sequence of action inside and it's going to be repeated 5 times. We have a repeat until, which basically is going to be repeated until a condition is satisfied and the condition is checked after each run of sequence. So basically it's going to run and then check the condition and again and again. Repeat while is kind of the opposite, which is repeat while something is true and it's going to be checked before. And then you have like the most complex one, which is repeats for each object of a list. And then you have to use templating to be able to just loop on a specific list, which is the most complex one. So really again, only cosmetic. Yeah, so again, like it's the most, it's crazy complex, and also you can do crazy things with that. But yeah, it's a bit complex because you have to use YAML. Yeah.
Just if you look at this, like what is going on, it's cosmetic, and what yellow means with that is that the underlying YAML actually doesn't change. It also means that any existing automation you have or anything you used to create in YAML or whatever does not change. All your existing automations keep working as is. One of the rules we live by is that we will never break an automation. So the automation syntax is backwards compatible, and in this case, unchanged even. So it's just a UI trick in adding more clarity and more purpose built blocks, basically.
The funny thing is that until this release, I actually hadn't touched the repeat function at all. I went to creating an automation after I installed beta last week and thought this was how we had it the entire time. I had no clue it was different.
Repeat is great. Repeat is great. You can do very simple things with it, like blinking lights. You can do very complex things like sending notification for all of your low batteries. But then these kind of things you need to template about.
And if you mess up your script in there and you send yourself a notification, you can actually like spam bomb your own phone. It's really fun.
I have a nice one with that where I have like a wait for trigger inside the repeat that is like, unless I hit the done button, or it waits for a trigger that the button gets pressed outside of my notification. And like, as long as I don't keep answering, if I don't answer the notification, then I put the trash outside. Every 30 minutes, it will repeat and send me another notification.
That's just nagging you.
I do the same thing though. I have a trigger within my my repeat as well to wait until it hits a certain threshold, because mine's for my soil moisture is what I used it for. I have the repeat blinking the light at me, as JLo very much called out for what you can use this for.
I'm trying to find where I'm using repeats, but I'm using repeat in complex blueprints, which I'm not going to show right now, and that's basically it.
JLo, you gotta, whenever you put your mouth away from the microphone, you sound like different.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay.
going to stay like this.
But JLo, I'm going to correct you in a bit, by the way, because this is not all. You've missed a few bits, and we have a few exciting bits. So first of all,
go ahead.
Something that is just, it's so fine, it's okay. One of the things that has been reported most annoyingly last release was the removal of the, yes, you know now, of the 3 little dots. It's the 3-dotted menu.
Impactful dots in history.
Yeah, exactly. So we're talking about user feedback. This was a big one.
Yeah. So this is a pattern that we use when we want to hide options that are not supposed to be obvious to make, but still possible, right? So it's kind of like our way of saying this is supposed to be obvious and this is supposed to be possible. And for the block, we thought about putting it there. Yep. Because we thought that almost everything would be, basically we thought that you will spend most of your time there. But then some of it was not that simple, and some of the things were not really working well. And now it's also on the flow itself. So for example, you can easily disable a few action, delete a few action without having to open the flow, which basically brings the same convenience of what we had before. We kind of broke the convenience when we did that.
It simply returns back to that spot.
Exactly.
Like it used to be.
Well, now it's on both.
It's duplicate in a way, but it was loudly heard that people wanted this back. So
exactly.
It's back.
It's back. There it is. Another one that we could talk about is: do you have, could you make a template trigger? Oh, look at that! Yes.
Yeah, so I remember that. Especially if the first line is long. But so this feature, the fact of being able to go full screen, has always been there, but it was floating. It was a small floating icon on the first line of the template, which meant that if you had a very long first line, you were basically writing on the floating icon because it was basically always there. So you were always writing on the floating icon, which was a very valid feedback. When we introduced the undo and redo, this one, we decided to put it on every field that is templatable. And now we have a small toolbar, the copy button if you want to copy that, with a full screen, which is out of your way, finally. And then with Ctrl-Z and Ctrl-Y, which is you can also do that with keyboard, but we are also allowing you to basically just do it without keyboard if you want. So now we have a small toolbar for every template field. And the button is not in your way anymore.
What other buttons are we going to add? Are we
AI generate
YAML? AI generate
generate my YAML.
We could do all kinds of stuff in there in the future.
Yep.
What I do want to highlight and tell and maybe see is that I've seen a couple of people comment, and we saw it during beta as well, is that, hey, we have line numbers now. And the cool thing is, those have been there for years.
Now it's just gray.
Now it's gray. The background changed to match the toolbar that was added. And all of a sudden, everybody is noticing the line numbers are there. But just in case you're having the same feeling as most of the people have, those numbers have been there for years.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool, actually. Yeah, that sums it up. Quite nice. Hey, there were some. This sums it up for the whole editor. I would say there are some questions left. There was a question here on Pat. If you copy something, could you then paste it into another app?
Yeah, it's the clipboard. It's the clipboard. So I can copy an action now and I can just paste it. I don't know, in the chat if you want. It's going to be YAML more or less.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's great.
And it's
So it's
really
easy for sharing and also easy for ingest. Like for me, the two main use cases of that are helping someone in forums and receiving help in forums.
Right.
Because now you can basically copy paste. Like the YAML part, I'm almost seeing it as a way of basically sharing information very easily. You don't even need to know what it is. It's like, oh, that's a trigger. I'm going to import the trigger. I can see it live. Yeah.
But it's also a readable YAML, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like formatted nicely so you can easily read it. The other person can maybe learn from it without even copying it into their Home Assistant instance.
Yeah.
So the follow-up question from Aaron is then also true. Is it clipboard working across different instances and different tabs? Yes.
Yeah.
You can copy and paste into different.
If you have universal clipboard between two computers or an iPad and a computer, works too.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna test it out across the iPad computer thing. See how much it breaks. Let's go.
Eddie is thanking you for the 3 dots, by the way, which is
Nice.
good. Nice to see it back. Thank you, Eddie. And there's Esteban. Yeah, he has a suggestion. He or she has a suggestion about validating YAML or maybe template validation. Could be interesting for the
I think we
editor.
have the schema. I think we have the schema.
Toolbar button. Yeah, might be interesting. Good idea. And Marcus is saying, why can't I edit deactivated actions?
Yeah, I already had copied that into my notes because I don't know. But that's
I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking.
So this is a, let's say, ongoing thread because it's even more complex than that, and it's even less aligned than this. Especially if you have building blocks and you for example, a choose with like many things inside, and you deactivate the choose, then you can still edit what is inside. It's a whole mess, and I think there is no reason why. When I think about it, so we may actually just allow it. But we just need to warn you, like just remember that you are editing something that will not run, but that's it. I think we are just missing a few bits and pieces on the UI side so that you know what you are doing, but there is no reason behind that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. And finally, Jonathan asked if there are plans that multi-select so you can remove or disable many at once.
No. For now, no plan. No bit feedback also. So let's see what the community wants. But this, just so you know, it's adding a whole lot complexity. Because if I take 5 things with, like, for example, shift, click, and then I drag them, usually like the common pattern is that I'm basically going to just mush them down at the end of where I'm dropping them. It's a whole lot complexity, but why not? For now, there is no plan because there is no need. Or at least I don't know the need.
Yep. All right. I guess that's it for the automation stuff part of this. Cool. I'm just very excited about everything automation wise, and I'm looking forward to what's coming because we are going to do some major stuff in the upcoming months. And this is just basic groundwork, even though this feels like huge. This is good. This is just the basic groundwork of the things that we are doing. If you're actually interested in joining this discussion and already get a look ahead, you can go into Discord, into the project channel, and there's a topic on automations and scripts. And if
we didn't even talk about how we made that public, guys.
Oh,
we did
which
that
is now made public.
Stream. It used to be
true.
gated behind the developers category in our Discord server. We wanted to continue to honor our work in the open, and so now if you go into the server, anyone who has just the @everyone role can now see under developers a projects section. And in there are a whole bunch of threads that the developers, the Open Home Foundation employees, the Nabukasa employees, contributors from everywhere, language, design, and just code contributors are all in there talking about not only fixing stuff now, but what the future is going to look like. So we made it public for everybody. And there's actually in the pinned post steps on how to get engaged yourself if you want to participate. So.
And if you go to automation and scripts and just click on the pin comment, hello, Luis, on the pin posts, you will see some where are the pin posts?
Yeah, when you click on the pins. But
where are the pins? Okay, fine, sure, whatever. I don't know how to Discord, right? But if you find the pin post, you will find all of the nice goodies that we want to ship.
Yeah.
Right?
If you're looking for where this is, we're still looking for automation as a feedback, just like last release. Like, your feedback is very, very important and helps us moving along. There's a form here which you can fill in. It's a Google form where you can leave your comment, which get processed. But also, if you wonder where was this link again in Discord, there's a direct link here which brings you to the channel JLo just shown, and you can tag along if you like. All right. Automations.
I found the pin post finally.
Found it.
Good.
Awesome.
Is it time for the second big topic of this release?
Depends on what you consider the second, but pick one.
Clocks.
Pick one, yeah.
Clocks.
Oh yeah.
We're
Let's
definitely
do
on
like
time
in
for that
every
one.
order.
Let's
Yes, let's do in every order of. Good.
Year of the clocks.
Luckily, the year is short, just saying.
Yeah. Yep.
There's not many time left in this month, which God, everything.
Yeah. No, with the Open Home Foundation, we know time is ticking, and so we're doubling down on our clock cards. And clock card, we only have one, but it has many options. And although usually we are a little restrained in adding options, we've made a special exception for this card to make it a true year of the clock worthy card. And so Aiden is here to join us today. You recently joined the Open Home Foundation.
About 2 months now.
Yeah. And front-end developer and clock expert.
Sure.
I don't think he was expecting that when he joined, but now that's it.
So to give a little bit of context to multiple things, Aiden, by the way, is doing a great job. And Aiden is now part of the Open Home Foundation on the front-end team, working full-time on Home Assistant, which might be a hook for you, Paul, is just saying. But besides that, Aiden has been around for a long time, basically almost as long as I am, because he actually built tons of stuff around the last years around the Home Assistant project, including like add-ons and integrations. System Bridge he built.
Yeah, System Bridge. Before Lovelace, there was Home Panel.
Oh, right.
Remember that?
Yeah. That was even an add-on too, as well.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely cool. And now he's here, like full time.
So okay, I'll take the bridge then. Sorry, Aiden, we gotta stop the time. We have a brand new redirect link to make it easier for people to find jobs with us, because we are actively hiring. I'm actually going to, that's not the screen I want to share.
Spoilers?
Still a good screen though. Yes, here you go. This is our job page. The one, as you can see in the banner. We are hiring for a bunch of positions. In fact, we are hiring for 8 positions. So the Open Home Foundation is growing thanks to all of your support, right? There are no external investors or companies that are like trying to steer us into like doing their like cloud happy bidding. No, we are only funded by users that purchase things from commercial partners from the Open Home Foundation, especially Home Assistant Cloud, which is our cloud subscription, which is recurring revenue for the Open Home Foundation, allowing us to hire a ton of people, which we are doing. And so we are actively expanding. I want to actually highlight the first one, community lead. Community is extremely important for the Open Home Foundation. And while the whole world is trying to, steer away to AI and like try to do less with humans, we're actually doubling down. And so we're adding a new department that's dedicated to community. So this department will community management, of course. There will be event organizing, creating more ways that we can celebrate the community, create a stronger community, and reward people that are contributing a lot to the community.
Yeah, you come be my boss.
Yes.
Yep.
So super excited opportunity. If you are a person that can fit this role, definitely apply. The Then the Home Assistant department, it doesn't, yeah, it does fit in one screen, is hiring a lot of
Barely.
people.
Go up just a little bit.
Sorry.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes. Frank, you want to talk about these positions?
Yeah, I have 5 positions open to join in my department here to work on Home Assistant full time. So if you like what you're seeing here and like to be on the release party like Aiden and talk about the things you do here, which is just super cool. I have 5 positions open. I'm looking for Python engineers. I'm looking for technical writers because we actually want to expand a documentation team to get more force into our documentation. And last but not least, I'm looking for a technical program manager to help us organize and connect all the bits and pieces up and getting our resource management up in the game. So if there's any of these things like talks to you and you feel like that's my thing, please apply. And hope to see you on a live stream soon then maybe.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
We have a couple of more. We're looking for the marketing department, a digital marketing manager, and for a market researcher. So we want to just know what's going on in the market. And, I know that's like, why would the Open Home Foundation need to know what's going on in the market? Well, we're so big now, and like we're moving so many things. Like, where do we spend our time? There's like only limited resources. The space of the Open Home is very big, and we want to make sure that when we build stuff that we're actually building the things that our users want and need. And to learn about what the users want and need, we have, of course, product management, but also we want to know what's happening in the market out there. So we need all facets, and that's why we're expanding the team a lot. So definitely, if you like working on open source, like working on smart home, it is a lot of fun. You get to hang out with all these people here, and so definitely worth it. Let me actually remove this banner from Aiden's head.
Well, talking about that.
Oh.
I started this one. I was like, this is such a good bridge to get Aiden back to talk to you. A second, right? Just a second.
Okay,
time is ticking.
I'm going to shut up. Thank you. Apply for those jobs. Come work for us.
Do it.
Nice.
Look, that's the way to do it.
That's good.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Where are we? Hi, Aiden.
No
Is
pressure.
it time?
No pressure.
God. How many twins that? Oh, dear.
We're waiting for you. Do I need to share something? Do you want to introduce something, Aiden?
Yeah, you can share my screen.
Okay. Going to share your screen.
Zoop.
Yeah. Clocks. Originally, hang on. I know the name. He's a Brit. I should know his name. Hang on.
Darren.
Originally Darren, yeah. Darren's original card. He's on our marketing team. Clock. Yeah, so you might remember this. It's a bit bigger. There we go. Yeah, so originally it was just a digital clock. I think it had seconds available. You could set the format. This was all based on your time settings as well. So you can set what you like. I added this as well before I did the analog clock. So I just did this little no background. That's it. And now we've got analog clocks, analog without the EUEs for the Americans. It's slightly bigger because it's weird on this screen. There we go. Yeah, analog clocks. So you've got the same options as the digital clock. So small, medium, large. No background, which I like. You can have the border. So you can have a border around it.
How many options do we have?
Yeah, quite a few options. You can remove the ticks altogether, so you can just look at a clock that's confusing. You can have the quarter time, the hour, and the minute. And you can add a border to each of those as well. Yeah, so you can have the minutes, and then you can also do the clock face. So you can change it to have numbers, and you can have Roman numerals. There was a whole debate about how do Roman numerals go. It usually follows the clock this way, whereas your normal numbers are upright. At one point, this was upside down. That was a 9. So it's confusing everyone. Yeah, those are my favorites there, the Roman numerals.
Yeah, this one's beautiful. I agree.
Yeah. And originally it was a tick. So before this release, we had just this basically. And now we can do continuous motion.
Nice. That's so smooth. It looks really smooth.
Will the hour and the minute handle also move this smoothly when it's the whole hour? When the seconds is at 0?
I think so, yeah, it's CSS.
Can we do 1 tick every 7.5 seconds?
That's the next option, I guess.
Oh,
I was going to say, I bet JLo could write the template for that. He doesn't even need to ask for a future
Yeah, like a
request.
template for knowing how many ticks you want.
Exactly.
Step size.
Step size.
We do have a few questions about your clock, by the way, here, Aiden. One of them is like, do the clock cards work in the future?
Yeah, what are you?
No.
Australia? Somewhere around here.
No, he's in New Zealand. Don't offend him.
New Zealand does. We should search this.
It's plus 13. Don't worry, I got you.
That's 13. That's the end. There you go. That'll do.
It is the end.
There you go.
There you go. So you can be anything you like in the future.
So there's color options is a nice request. That's
I think you can theme this.
you
I
can
tried
theme
it, but there is a theming variable you can set.
Yeah,
NPR actually. There you go. There you go.
Oh yeah, nice.
So you can set an image behind. So you just,
You can set an image behind?
yeah, you just throw an image behind there.
Polus AI task generation image.
Oh
My God.
I want Polus's face.
Oh god.
I still have those gifs someone made of your guys'
GIFs,
faces
right?
all moving. I'll share those. I still have those saved.
Oh, that'd be a good one, especially with every person's time zone.
Ooh.
the company clock dashboard.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think that the only
And then Jesse just in another page because he lives in another day. Would be nice.
the
He lives in
only
the
thing
future.
missing is like the Harry Potter feature, where instead of numbers you have people with locations. Every hand is a person, and then you have like
you see
school
the
work.
ESPN project about that?
Yeah, somebody built it.
That
Huh?
was
They
amazing.
did-
Like years ago. Amazing.
That's wild. I'm gonna go digging
Amazing.
for that one.
Yeah, I think it was Hunter maybe. Did it?
Could be. But
This is great.
like, since this is the year of the clock, at least for the remainder part of it, what are the plans, Timo?
Yeah, give us the vision.
Yeah, we're
Yes,
making fun of it in a way.
dynamic.
But this is amazing. Just say.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Try and size the clock dynamically. So you've got the so if you do any massive layouts, it'll follow that size.
Ooh.
That could be useful.
That's kind of nice. That might be nice.
So, yeah.
Now,
Currently,
if
it's
you're
just-
watching this, like I have good feedback or ideas for the clock, you need to go to our Discord server and go to like the projects channel and go into the clock
Dashboard.
forum. Does it
No,
Wait, is that-
dashboard.
clock
Dashboard.
yeah.
Dashboard.
Make a new
We're
one.
trying to avoid diluting the information to like a card. So it's going to be
Yeah.
dashboard.
No, but it's great. To be fair, this is very great, Aiden. Like adding this stuff is cool, and this is a cool little card which like works well on a wall dashboard in general. So
Yeah.
I like it.
I have it as a screensaver on my phone, so when I put it on the dock, it shows at the top
Oh, nice.
with my agenda underneath.
Awesome.
Yep.
The clock card. Hey,
clock.
since you're here on this dashboard, Aiden, do you happen to have available a media player?
Ooh.
Yes. somewhere. I'll have it on here somewhere.
Is this a real instance or is this
This is my dev one. As you can tell.
the famous Walkman? Yeah.
Yeah, the Walkman.
Okay. Let's check in a bit then for an actual working sample for this little spoiler. Right.
Okay, well, let's do the walk. Let's do the media player, right?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have one? Oh, there we. But this one is broken.
I have a real
Ooh,
one.
okay.
I have a real one if you want.
There you go.
Yeah.
Here's a real-
Yeah, let's.
If you want.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
there we
start
go.
here, though.
I don't want to make all of the demos, but I have a real one. Give me a sec.
You have no screen share made.
I just want to make
Preparation for
sure-
these streams are so good.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that I'm just muting the sound because making sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Well, I mean, okay, yeah. Spoiler: we
Yours.
remade
Ouais.
the more information dialog of the media player. So the more info is what you have when you click on an entity. This thing, and on the media player one, it was a very outdated design. If I don't want to say mistake, it was done by JP also.
Yes,
Right?
correct.
Yes.
Matthias
He's
and
on fire.
JP.
And Matthias.
Yeah.
And so this is it. That's the design. So there is a lot of small things that I love. For example, like why is the picture so small? It's because it's paused if you start to play music. I thought it would be bigger. Actually, sorry.
No, it's because of the zooming in. Right,
Yes,
it
but
tries
still.
to make sure that the dialogue height is not pushing the buttons off the screen because we want to show you all the album art.
Still, if you play, it goes a bit bigger, which I like a lot. Yes. And so, yeah, we have all of the controls there. Again, controls are based on what your media player supports. So here it's repeat and it's shuffle, play, pause, and next. We have the sound. And then we have the sources. This one supports a specific source. Grouping if the platform supports grouping. So, for example, I have like 6 speakers in my home. 3 of them are Sonos. Sonos supports grouping, so I can group here, for example. And the media browser, which is media browser if you want to play anything on that. But this is new. The media player.
It looks amazing.
More info. Yeah.
It absolutely looks stunning. I like the layout. It's nice to see this basically for a long time untouched, more info dialogue to have
Yeah.
a little.
I like to use the word append only, where like every time we have a new feature, we just add it somewhere in between, and then like never think about it as a whole. So
Yeah, we have had quite a bunch of more information dialogue redos like a year and a half ago-ish, where we did a lot of them and refreshed a lot of them.
Yeah.
But some of them never got touched because this is just a complicated one. Like it looks simple, but this is one of the most complicated dialogues we have.
Yep.
And that's now being addressed, which again, JP, amazing job there.
Yes.
Well, the reason why it's so complicated is because in Home Assistant, we support all types of media players, right? So you have media players that are like Sonos, which are whole ecosystems, or you have like an Apple TV, which is another whole ecosystem with the screen and whatnot. And so what we can and cannot control. And, you know, for example, if you're watching this live stream on your TV and you have that TV in Home Assistant, you can fast forward. It's live, right? Oh, so those buttons cannot be available, etc. Right? So there's a lot of permutations that we all have to take care of. And so Matthias made this Figma that is like 12 pages long, where we try to figure out what are like the most common scenarios and make sure that those look good.
Yeah, even in this small example, you can see, for example, on this one, I can change the source, I can group it, and I can browse the media player. If I go to my Apple TV, for example, then the source are going to be different, going to be all of the apps. I cannot group it because Apple TV doesn't support grouping, but I can turn it off, which is not the case for Sonos, for example. Sonos, they don't turn off. So there is like all of these permutations are different based on everything, more or less, yeah.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. I like this edition. It's something you see often, but not. Like, if you click on it, then you see it, right? And you want to be functional. And it's so weird to click on something and then get a UI in front of you that is like totally out of whack with the rest of the interface.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So this is
It
just
looks
nice.
more, it looks more like it looks more coherent with what we are doing. I want a card now with this.
Yeah.
Like I want a card for the media players. Yeah.
It's a hint. Just...
because it's it is great. It's amazing.
Well, that's next steps.
I mean, I hear it a lot, by the way, right? People were like, "Oh, I want a more info dialog of lights as a card on my desktop. I want like."
Yeah.
There's actually a custom component, custom plugin
to make
any more card
info.
To make any more info part as a card. There's something out there. Like there's always something out. That's for sure. That's how Home Assistant works, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Now we're on dashboards anyway. In a way, somewhat. We talked about we talked about a clock. We ran out of time there, but we still have, like, we talked about a media player. Now we have more on the dashboard, which is actually containing part of your creation here, Paulus. Is that something you want to talk about?
I wrote some code. Actually, 8
years ago.
When was it? I think it was 2017 or 2018.
Yeah, something like that.
We launched the Home Assistant data science portal, data.homeassistant.io. It's a great web. Actually, let me just show it.
It still exists.
It's still, yeah, and it's kept up to date, mostly. Can somebody add my screen?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I didn't realize you didn't have controls. Can you switch?
If
you're looking for a job, okay.
I have the controls hidden because I'm whatever. Yes, this is the Home Assistant data science portal. I'll zoom out a little bit. What does it do? We explain here all the data that you can find in our database, events, states, all that stuff. We also had, if you want to start exploring, we had the Jupyter Lab add-on. I actually don't know if this kind of part still works. The add-on probably still works, but I don't know if we made this little plugin that we had a Jupyter notebook that would install our plugin and would automatically find your database and load it up. But in this Jupyter notebook, we had put a bunch of scripts to kind of like analyze your data, right? We query your database and say, oh, these are your most popular entities, and this is the time that you usually leave the house, and these kind of things. Just looking through your history data and finding stuff. Now, I was like, we work on the dashboards, and we're kind of like talking about what would be nice. And in one of Matthias' mockups, he is like, frequent entities. And I was like, we have that code. It's just sitting here in this notebook for years.
No AI needed at all, right? It's just a simple look into a database.
Yeah, and so we were like, okay, why are we? I was like, I should just do it. So actually, what I did, I gave it to AI, Frank. Yeah, because we have this code talking to like the database, and I was like, just write it in SQL Alchemy, so it's the way Home Assistant works, and it worked more or less. Draco went over it, made it a little faster, and then we did a little bit more faster. But it's very nice now. And what we so let me actually, JLo, can we share your screen or shall I can do mine as well?
No, we can. Maybe just a bit of context before, because it's new also, and I just want to make sure that
go ahead.
Know what we are talking about.
Yeah. What kind of context?
The homepage. The whole homepage, right?
But it's not okay. Yeah,
it's new, right? I mean, it's fairly new, right?
Fairly new.
One release ago, right? And it's kind of a new concept. So, we are iterating on the automation editor. We are also iterating on a new homepage, which we want more or less to make a new homepage. When you think about it, when you start Home Assistant today, we have an overview page, which is like a very outdated, very overwhelming data overload, things everywhere.
No sections, no
section, nothing.
No nothing.
And we are creating a new homepage with the mission of indexing your home, so making sure that you understand which device is where, and highlighting specific aspects of your home: energy, weather, more things in the future. So these are the two missions that we are trying to achieve with the homepage: indexing your home and highlighting. The idea is that it's for new users, everyone that really don't need to spend time on a dashboard. And ultimately, I would say it's kind of for everyone. But of course, if you want to use a specific dashboard, then you can, right? Now that I made a bit of context, the homepage. Settings, dashboard, add dashboard.
No, that fast. What did you do?
Okay. Setting, Dashboard.
Oh.
Add dashboard. Home. Experiment, right?
He was
Global
just going
overview
as
of your
fast
home.
as he speaks. Don't worry. That's just what he was doing.
And when you do this, you have a new dashboard, which is this one. Zup. And again, the idea, before I go to the top one, indexing your home, what is in which area, giving you insight on specific aspect of your home, energy consumption, weather, things like this. Weather is there, security is there, etc. Media player are there.
Right, and well, you're going too fast because I want to you're clicking on these summaries buttons. These are summaries of specific domains. So we have had the energy dashboard for a long time where if you want to care about anything energy related, you go to this dashboard, you have a few settings, we pick the stuff from your house, we create beautiful graphs. And basically it's a ready-made solution so that you don't have to build your own dashboard if you just want to have a good energy dashboard. And we're taking this concept and we're applying it to 4 other areas. So we're applying it to lights, climate, security, and media player. So we're still working on these dashboards right now. They're pretty basic. I think if you go to and experimental. So for example, security will have your cameras, your motion sensors, your all that stuff. Your media players, it's just your media players for now. Your lights are just your lights. Climate is temperature sensors of the areas and anything that can impact your climate. So air conditionings, heating systems, all that stuff.
Windows.
We're grouping it by floors and areas. This will get polished more over time with your help. By the way, we would love to have, are you a climate expert, or you build an amazing climate dashboard and you have ideas how we should work on automatically figuring out the best dashboard? Let us know. Again, on Discord, on those channels that we mentioned earlier, the projects channel, drop your thoughts, help us figure this out. Those are the domain dashboards. Then we have the area dashboard to quickly go into an area.
Yeah.
We have been we've been organizing these area dashboards by the domains that we also have, right? So you will see lights and climate and security and media player come back. And actually we have a nice little tweak. You can just jump into lights completely, right? From the area dashboard, go to all your lights because you quickly want to control something. And we have these little jumps in there. But of course, if not everything fits in those domains, it happens. We still organize all the devices at the bottom for better or worse. I mean, this is really for us to get something going. We want to see what is possible, give it to all of you, right? And expose it and work in the open. So if you like something, tell us. If you don't like something, tell us too. Or come help fix it. We're just playing with this. And this is where these new common entities come in, right? So on the main dashboard, we now will show you, these are the entities we think you're going to most likely interact with. We don't just look at your database and, find the things you interact with the most. We have some logic behind it, right? So we'll look at only the current user looking at the dashboard. We look at what this user has done from the dashboard in the past to control inside Home Assistant. Now, by the way, these are analytics and history that were already stored, right? This powers your graphs and all that stuff. So we don't gather any data extra. And even if we gather data, it's all local, of course, and it's all yours. Now, we're also trying to be a little smart, and we've segmented the days into 4 blocks. So if you use in the morning, you turn on your coffee machine, but in the evening you lower the volume on your TV more, your coffee machine won't show up in the evening and vice versa. And this is done as a section strategy that if you are already using section dashboard, you can also pull into your own dashboard. There's some YAML hidden in the release notes. Well, it's not hidden. It's in one of those collapsible things, right? JLo, what are we seeing? Why are these your popular entities?
This one is popular because I just made a demo about it because something else was there a few minutes ago. This is I think what is the time block? 6 hours. I think this is evening time block, and in the evening, I guess that evening and night. I guess that what I'm doing mostly often is leaving my office, going to my living room to eat, going back to my bedroom to sleep. Before that, I had like a nice Easter egg there, which was that one of my most common entity at that kind of time of the day was the bass of my subwoofer, because it's too powerful, and I'm always tuning it when I'm listening to music during the night, because otherwise I'm bothering my neighbors. But it's because I just made like a bunch of small adjustments on the on my speakers for the demo before. Now it's there, more or less. Yeah. And that's basically it, right? It's a very small it's a very small iteration on something that is going to be bigger at some point. The homepage, we have like lots of plans about that. Again, indexing, which is this part, and insights, which for now is mostly think about this part, because here we are really giving you insight. Whereas for now on the security, we are not really giving you insights. Maybe the only insight we are giving you is that there is one door unlocked right now, but that's the only thing we give you. And tomorrow, like much more insights on security, on climate, on media players, on lights, and whatever you can think about.
Yeah.
And we have this new small section on top, which is commonly used. Actually, there is also another section that I'm not showing right now, which are favorites. This is the only thing that we are allowing to change there. If there is something that you always want, for example, your TV, you can go there and in your favorites, just add your Apple TV. And it's going to be like on top in a specific parts section that is there.
Yeah.
Which are the
And
favorites,
this has
which
been-
will never change, more or less.
Yeah.
This one are changing, this one will never changing.
In my day-to-day use, I have my few favorites set up, and together with my commonly used, it just covers like 85% of like, or 90% of all my interactions.
So what maybe not everybody knows who's watching, but we have a creator network, right? So people that we work with a lot, or like people that create content about us quite a lot, like Lewis and Everything Smart Home, for example. But many more of those people actually we have a call with before beta starts to explain what we're going to do, what will be in the release, what's the thoughts behind this, inspiration, whatnot. And we talked about this dashboard too, and the commonly used ones. And I'm not sure who brought it up at this point anymore, but one of the most interesting questions and comments I found from that call was basically somebody asking, hey, those commonly used entities, they are actually problematic in a way, because if they show up every day at a time because you control that single entity every single day at that time, basically, right? And chances are you use that, why isn't it automated?
You should.
So, yeah. So besides like being a great tool to look at, like, hey, this is what you commonly use around this moment in time, it can also be a cue for you, like, hey, why am I actually being presented with this, and why haven't I automated this part? Which I found a very interesting view on this feature, actually.
That was
actually I think it's also why I don't have a great story about what is there. It's because I rarely use my dashboard. I use my dashboard a lot for monitoring. I have a lot of things that I want to see, right? And I'm a data nerd, so I like to see like the power consumption graph changing when I cook something, etc. When I start to put my oven on, etc. I kind of like doing things, but I never control a lot. I like physical switches, but they are not tied to my user, so they don't show there.
Right.
And I like automations, and I really love my dashboard for monitoring. And I reuse them.
So but your automations will also not show up, right? So
exactly. My automations are not showing.
Only looking at when you clicked on things from the dashboard.
Yeah. And just because we have the question 2 times, which was this one, I'm going to. What is this? What is my okay, sorry. I'm going to do it.
You have like Tim Cook's camera reactions on.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it. I'm going to add the common entities to my own dashboard so that you can see at least how it's done. The YAML that I'm going to use is on the release note. And it's 3 lines.
Yeah.
That I'm going to
Can we paste YAML cards?
Where?
No.
Sorry. No. So this is my dashboard, and I'm going to add it somewhere. Not want to dox myself because there is a map there. Okay, it's fine. I'm going to add it. It's a new section, so I'm going to add a new section for now. I'm just going to add it at the end. So new section, this is a section. I'm going to edit that section. I'm going to go to the YAML editor of that section. This is a section, and I'm just going to copy.
Yeah,
these
this is
three
important. It has to be a section that
Section.
you're editing and not a card.
It's a first strategy at the section level. We think that this could be big, having a section for your 3D printer, for your car. It's the first one. That's the first one. Save. Done. That's it.
Cool.
Command controls. And now we have 8 of them because we actually only restricted to 4 in the dashboard strategy, but here we have 8 of them. Actually, if I
Please
remember well,
bear-
I think I could have enough 12, I think, but yeah.
Please bear in mind, this is a section that comes from the experimental home dashboard.
Oh, yes.
We're
Heavily
working on heavily experimental.
Yeah.
We're working with this. We're playing with this. Things are changing. This includes this strategy trick, right? It's part of the experimental dashboard. If you put that in your production dashboard, it doesn't make it less experimental. Just as as a little warning to this. Like, it's not bad, otherwise we wouldn't ship it, but it
Yes.
might change. It's subject to change.
Especially maybe like the syntax itself, etc. We don't guarantee backward compatible syntax, especially because the strategy, the homepage, you don't touch the YAML, so we can change it as we see fit for now. Yeah.
Yes, I wanna. We didn't put this in the blog post, but I'm gonna just mention that there's 3 options you can use. Exclude underscore entities is a list of entity IDs that you don't want to show up. Maybe you like, whatever reason, there's an entity you use a lot, but you don't want to show up because, I know, some of these things where like number entities, you click up 5 times because you want to change it. That's actually 5 interactions. That's something we still have to work out. In the landing page, the homepage, we actually filter out all favorites, right? Because we already have those listed above it. You don't want to see them again. We have limit. Limit allows you to pick how many entities will show. 8 is the default, 4 is possible. I think it goes up to 10 or 12. I would need to double check that. I also think I had a task somewhere to actually increase that number. I didn't. Maybe in the future. Last option is the hide underscore empty, a boolean, true or false. That means we use this on the homepage as well. If there is no common entities, because maybe everything's in your favorites that you commonly use, then it will just hide itself. Yeah. So we're pretty stoked on just seeing what this unlocks. We have our dashboards have been, the built-in dashboard cards are very static in a way, right? We always make sure that everything is predefined. You need to know which sections and cards. And so as you can see now with the homepage, where we're already doing things, dynamically generating it, making it look good, this is like a next step to kind of put some magic in it. And like Frank said at the beginning, this is not AI, right? This is just plain old like counting.
Yep.
Yes.
That's a very old fashioned. We almost forgot like that stuff still exists, right?
Yeah.
We tend to use AI as a solution for everything. Well, some things are just plain old fashioned database queries.
Exactly.
I have. Before we dive into that, there was a user asking the Slim Him, can we see other users commonly used entities without being an HA element to see what automations my family could benefit from? This is system wide.
I really like this idea.
It's by user.
Yep.
It's by user, right? It's by user.
Yeah, it's per user. Right now, the WebSocket API will only show your common entities and not allow you to see others in the backend. But this would be a cool feature.
Yep. I like
the
dashboard. Definitely. And then I was asking, changing habits will also change the buttons. Yes.
Over time. So we look at the last 30 days of your history. If you have those available, by default, the history is capped at 10 days. So we look at your last 10 days. That's, if you change your habits within a week or 2, you should see them pop up.
Yep.
It's like TikTok, where like all of a sudden you're going to see only videos of cats or something, right? Because you just liked a few cat videos too much. That's how that's Home Assistant now.
What mine's showing off is the LED light for my voice kits, my voice PEs, is just the LED light that keeps coming up because I keep using that. And when you set timers and stuff, it triggers the LED light on that. So just so you know, that's one of my top entities is the LED light for my VPE.
I think it's because you're playing with it. Because when you trigger timer, it's not tied to your user. It's tied to.
Oh, it's not?
No, we don't know that it's you. But if you play with it, yes.
Interesting.
But you made somebody very happy with your answer there, Paulus, because the Paulus like my idea.
Nice.
Anyway, let's look into the other features this release because we have more, quite a bit more. While the feature just shown was not AI, we also need to talk about AI.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. I will try to be fast.
You don't have to be fast, but
No. Yeah. A bit of context because again, like it's quite new, and I'm fairly sure that not everyone is aware of this. So we have been experimenting with AI for quite a long time, and we started with something called conversation agents, which are optimized for conversation, back and forth conversation, and we use them in our voice assistant. And we have positioned ourselves as the platform for experimenting with AI. And it was very funny because the day we introduced conversation agent, we already saw people using them for other things. Because you can prompt them. So you can say talk like a pirate, which was a valid use case of a conversation agent. But some people was like, I'm going to pass you like music and you're going to tell me yes or no if it's country.
Oh, yeah.
Which was like interesting in a way. So they were using conversation agent for something else. And this was great, but also caused a lot of issues because we are driving the output, which is text, because it has to be spoken. So we are saying the conversation agent, you need to basically output text because you are going to be part of a conversation. And then we keep past interaction, we keep a memory, etc., etc. Anyway, this was basically optimized for voice. 3 releases ago, or 2 releases ago, we introduced something called AI tasks, which are a way to use AI outside of voice. So it's the same thing, but outside of voice. And here you are able to generate data. You are able to drive the output. I'm going to show a demo, by the way, about this part, which has been released again like 2 or 3 releases ago. And you can make this like unitary standalone task. Like I'm going to give you this and you're going to tell me that. I'm going to give you like a bunch of weather data and you're going to give me one sentence that I'm going to display on my dashboard about the weather beam, like one small like feature about the weather. Or I'm going to give you like all of my meetings data and you're going to basically make one sentence about what's going to happen today. And then I'm going to stream it on my voice preview edition, something like this. So that was called generate data. I have a demo about that. Maybe let's go to that demo because then after I'm going to extend the demo with a new feature that we introduced that release. I think it's a good plan. Give me 1 sec. I need to change a bit my screen because I need to share my whole screen because you're going to see also my phone. Do you see my phone? Yeah, I need to. Okay, you don't see my screen, my keyboard. Give me a sec, sorry.
1, 2. Oh, it's just sorry, I was so sorry.
Okay, good, perfect. Okay, sorry. Boop. Good. So you see, I'm just going to zoom even more, and you see my screen on the side, and I will basically, I will wake it up when you need to see it. So the demo is that. So again, this is generating data, and this was up for a few releases. I will show you how it looks, and this is a demo about my doorbell, which is a fairly common use case. Now we are seeing it more and more on the community, which is when someone rings at my doorbell, I'm going to ask an AI task to describe what it sees. As simple as that. This is called generate data. So you ask an AI task to generate data. No, I'm just going to zoom out a bit because I want to see it like this. And so this is how AI generate data looks. More or less you give it instruction. So someone rang my doorbell, you're going to describe the scene, you're going to describe every person in the scene, you're going to count the animals, you're going to count the person, whatever you want. You provide which LLM you want to use for AI task. I can show also how to create the AI task afterwards. Then you structure the output. By the way, I have a longer demo that is coming next week where I explain all of this. So we are building this automation together. So I will go fast for this one, especially because it was released a few releases ago. But you can say, for example, I specifically want a summary. I specifically want a person count. I specifically want an animal count. And then you use that data somewhere else. And this part of the demo, sorry, I need to show you the picture that I'm going to process because nothing is happening in my doorbell right now, which is kind of boring for the demo. So I made a photo of my doorbell when it was interesting, and I'm going to process that image for the rest of the demo if it wants to load, which is me, my cat. My cat is there, and then my dog, which is there. So there are animals and there are things interesting. Okay. Doorbell. This all automation is on the release note, by the way, if you want to just see how it looks. So I'm going to press my doorbell. By the way, it's not a doorbell, it's this e-stop button that I found in a trash can next to my place. So, boom.
Okay.
So processing image, you can see the notification on the side, so I cannot basically put it bigger than that. And then there is a man with glass and tattoo is at the door with a dog. A small cat is also visible near the door. I hope that you see that. I'm sorry, it's a bit small, but again, I cannot really make it bigger for this part. So this was like the generate data. And again, you can see a bit how I'm doing that. Is as soon as the fake doorbell is rang, I'm sending a notification with nothing on it. That's before AI takes over. So I'm just saying like processing image. And then I'm basically like asking AI to generate all of this data. And it's generating data. We can see on the trace what it generated. There, a man with glasses, tattoos at the door, a cat is also visible. Person count 1, animal count 2, because this is what I want. So I'm driving this output, and then I'm using this output in the notification in different places. On the title, there was the number of person and the number of animal. I can do it again because I didn't see that. I didn't show that. So I'm just going to do it again. And then you have the summary, which is like the summary itself. So you can see the title of the notification, which is like 1 person, 2 pets. 1 person is with beard and glass, stand at the door with a dog beside him. A cat is also present in the pathway. So again, generate data. That has been out for a few releases, and we are starting to see some very, very great example of how this could be used, which is nice because they are not coming from us. The community has great ideas. Describing pictures of doorbells is interesting. Our copywriter is asking an AI task to describe if they are clothes drying outside every time it rains, which I found brilliant. Other community members are describing pictures of their front porch if the trash have been taken out in specific time of day to know if they need to take out the trash, etc. Super, super nice.
This was just the introduction.
Yes, exactly. I hope it was not super long. Just going to stop the screen 1 second. I'm going to share just I'm just going to share the window for that part because I can. Then after I will share this release, we are introducing generate image. So now you can generate also images. I'm just going to go to the dev tool to show you how it looks. So on the action tab of the developer tool, you have generate data, which is what I was explaining before. And you have generate image now, which is exactly the same fields, except one, which is you don't need to structure the output because the output of an image is an image. So you go to generate image, same thing. You put a task name. So for example, I don't care, demo. Instruction. So you can do 2 things. You can either do like text in, image out. For example, generate a picture of a... do you have an example? Do you have an idea?
I would like a home assistant on a billboard on Times Square.
Yes, generate a... good. Generate an ad for home assistant.
Ad is misspelled.
That's the French spelling, don't worry.
For home assistant smart home platform on a billboard on Times Square.
SQ, yes.
You generate, you pick the LLM of your choice. I will speak about the main difference I'm seeing with Gemini and OpenAI. That's the 2 that I'm testing. I'm going to use Gemini for that demo. I will explain you why. And then you press perform action. So this is text in and image out. And on Gemini, it's, I would say, relatively fast. 10 seconds. I mean, it's done more or less. You have a bit of a structured output if you want to use that URL for showing the image later, but also if you just want to play with it, just keep scrolling. and that's not our logo, so that's great. Your home, smarter private. Okay, home assistant.io. This is pretty good.
quite okay.
Pretty good.
The logo pain. Oh God.
Yes, Miranda, take your phone.
They will get a call, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
Text in, image out. You can also do text and image in, image out. So for example, you can say like transform this image into a cute cartoon or a cute cartoon version. And then you go to attachments and you pick the thing you want to transform. So basically it's image and text in, image out. So I'm going to take the same.
Can you go back one because the
Yes.
attachment? This is the cool part. You can attach cameras, right? You can attach your doorbell. You can attach a picture from outside. You can whatever you have cameras pointing at. You can now send here as well.
Yeah, like this is my literal doorbell. It's the same frame of the one that you were seeing on the test, except that nothing is happening more or less. So it's kind of boring. So I'm going to use the same image as before, which is me, my dog, and my cat on my doorbell. That's me. Up, it's there. Took, perform action. So now again, image in, image and text in, image out. A bit longer, still on Gemini, it's acceptable. I'm always saying acceptable. It depends on your use case, but I would say it's going to take about 12 seconds.
Okay.
I have 3 cats. It's great.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have 2 dogs and 2 cats. Why not? AI, whatever.
Part of your hand is like human, but also cartoon.
Yes. So while you say that, I'm just going to try to do something, and then I will talk about it as I'm doing it. And yes, you're right. So Gemini, it's using a nano banana behind. It's a very small model, and it's very good at generating image from text. It's super fast. It's super cheap. And when you want to transform an image, so image in, image out, it's doing something that is, it struggled to basically go really like on the creative space, I would say. I'm talking a lot because you will see why. There is on the other side of the spectrum, OpenAI, and OpenAI is kind of almost the opposite. Very slow. It's still processing. It's going to take like about a minute. Very expensive, to be honest. But it is able to fully transform an image into something more creative. So here, if we say like transform this image into a cute cartoon version, it's going to be really a cute cartoon version of an image and not just basically some colors and some things that are changed. So, it's dependent on what you want to do. For a doorbell demo, this is unusable. Way too slow. Way too slow. But, there is something that can be done. What I'm going to wait like 5 more seconds, and then after I will just basically move on and show you like the real demo on the doorbell. And then we can go back to this one. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen and share my whole screen so that you can see also my phone. And I'm going to basically I'm going to add this image generation to my notification so that you can see the whole kind of demo.
And by the way, so this demo, the long version with going through all the steps, explaining everything, will land on this channel next week. And if you want to get notified when that happened, maybe that would be a good time to hit the bell and the like button.
Yeah.
Right.
There's also there is also like a smaller version on the release notes. So tonight, more or less.
Oh, yeah.
A smaller version.
As a teaser.
Perfect. So it just finished performing the action on Gemini, on OpenAI. So this is a cute version of me, my dog, and my cat.
Oh, that's
OpenAI.
nice.
I think it's very good, but again, depends on your use case, right? If you generate one image during the night to display it in the morning, this is great, right? If you want to do it on a doorbell, it's unusable, way too slow.
Yeah.
But it's not the same model. So different model for different use case, which in a way makes sense. Okay, so let's just see what I did on the automation side. So when the doorbell rings, the fake doorbell rings, I'm sending one initial notification saying I'm processing the image. I'm asking an AI task to describe the picture. So image in, text out. And then I'm driving the text. I want a summary, person count, animal count. Then I'm replacing notification with this. And then enable. I'm sending the same image to Gemini saying transform this image into a cute manga this time, whatever. And then I'm replacing again notification with the image. So we can see how it goes. I'm just going to keep my phone alive and I'm going to press my fake doorbell. So this is before AI takes over. Now AI is describing the image, just the description. By the way, this part, I have it in production. Works amazingly well. So one person is pointing at the camera with a dog in front, and there is also a cat in the ground. Now Gemini is generating the image. Again, it takes about 12 seconds. Okay, click.
And there it is.
That's it. Manga version. And again, like Gemini is like very small on the adjustment. But if I want to do that with OpenAI, that would take like 2 minutes to have the image.
Yeah. But I've been playing. This is really cool. And like the Nano Banana, I've been like make the floor lava or replace the cars with Fisher Price cars or something, right? Like this, it can do a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, could do a lot of small stuff. I was talking to a few of you in the beta channel and also in Reddit and in a few videos. And one of the main question is, but what's the use case? And I'm going to be very transparent with it. I don't know yet, but 3 releases ago, I also did not really see the use case of generate data. And yet I'm seeing more and more use case and very useful use case. You know, when things are fuzzy and you need to have something actionable at the end. Like, for example, I helped Missy like 2 days ago. And we are giving the whole weather data. And then the outcome is just, do I need an umbrella? Yes, no. When you think about it, like the correlation is not that simple. You can do something simple, but maybe an AI shines in these kind of things. And for the generating image, I don't know yet, but I have
a few ideas that I still have to kind of process on, but I want to make it part of themes. So let's say you download a Matrix theme or a Barbie theme. What if AI tasks could, with the prompt embedded in the theme, update all your area pictures to be Barbie style, Matrix style, or whatever you're doing, right? JLo, I know you've been playing with it as well.
Of course, but it has been like outside of Home Assistant, right? I just basically decided to generate all of my rooms, which, you know, is great. But I agree. Yeah, that would be nice.
I think I would love to see something like a background changed into something that matches the mood where the house is set in, or combined with the weather. Like if it rains outside, it becomes a little bit more drooly, or even maybe just more sunny and happy to compensate for that, or like things like that. You can actually incorporate things that are happening around you into a background image and change the mood of your system based on that, which I think
that would also be nice.
A very cool addition in general. But there's so many use cases, but practical is still hard. But I agree with JLo. This takes time in a way. It also needs to be faster, in my opinion, which is also just takes time for AI to get there.
Yeah, depends on what you want to do again. Like, right, if you want one image showing, for example, the weather for the next 5 hours, and then you generate it every 5 hours, then you don't really care.
Yeah, that's fine.
But if you want, for example, like this doorbell use case is not really useful when you think about it. It's funny, but not really useful. The first part is very useful. Sometimes I'm in meeting, and I know that when the doorbell rings, I can just check my phone and see, for example, is there a package? Right now, for example, on that demo, I was counting animals because there were animals in the image, and you can see how it goes. But if someone is a package, I'm asking the AI counts the number of package, and I know that there is a package in my door, which is something that is useful. Transforming the image on a manga, not super useful, but it's possible.
I saw an automation the other day, which I was really intrigued by, which is basically AI driven. It was a guy, it was posted on Reddit. I don't remember exactly what it was, but a delivery truck drove up the driveway, and a mailman came out with a package and got recognized by AI that this was a delivery truck and a package. And it opened up the trunk of the Tesla, so the package could be put in there. And then the delivery guy left, and the trunk closed again. I found that such a cool,
that is really cool
showcase of what you can do with automations and things like AI. That is just super nice.
Every time you see a Tesla parked in a house, you just basically walk with a package in
front of the doorbell. To open up the
trunk. So, and this is our approach to AI, right? We are very careful putting it in our main user interface, and but we are very eager in making the tools so that you can experiment, and we're just gonna see what sticks in the community, what people like. Maybe these ideas are getting like used somewhere, maybe not. We actually, if you want to know how we are approaching AI, how we kind of use this in the user interface and making it for users. We just published our AI principles on the newsletter. So if you're not yet on the newsletter, missing out, that's for sure. Newsletter.openhomefoundation.org. Can somebody share my screen?
Yes.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Too many cooks. Okay. This was we just literally published this earlier this morning. AI is optional. Privacy isn't. I'm just not gonna go deep into everything, but I just wanna highlight the principles we have. No AI is always a choice. There will no AI be added to the critical path of your smart home. If you don't want AI, that's totally fine. You should still be able to have a smart home that focuses around privacy. AI is not the feature itself. It enables features. I hate all those buttons. It's just like AI magic, AI magic. That doesn't make any sense, right? We are working on something where we want to like, oh, you want to suggest a name. Okay, there's a suggest button, right? Like how that works under the hood. Like common entities, it doesn't use AI, but other companies might have slapped an AI label on it, right? Because, well, we're doing magic. It's not. All AIs are welcome. We just, we have integrations. We abstract this. Local, cloud, doesn't matter. Any kind of model, we'll pull it in. If there's an integration made for it, it will be available.
Yep.
And lastly, the user's in the driving seat, right? It means that Home Assistant is not going to enable all these AI features, drive up your electricity bill or your cloud bill or whatever, right? Like you can choose how to use AI, when to use AI. And that's important. It's your data and you can do with it what you want. And if that is something with AI, do it. If that's something without AI, you're also perfect, fine. Oh, last thing that I just want to highlight, like the no AI is always a choice. I think it's like for voice control, right? We have a system that works without AI. We have a system that works super fast without AI. Turn on the lights, it just catches it. These are all technologies that we have developed in-house, right? Speech to phrase, our assist sentence matching, and our Piper. And together with the community, we've been expanding this a lot. So yeah, this is our principles on AI. This is our newsletter. Make sure you check it out. It's cool.
And if you have use case that about AI image generation that you think are they have their place in a smart home, share them, because again, like I've been really blown away by the number of use cases that are making sense for data generation. And again, data generation is maybe a bit simpler, but it's all of like this fuzzy thing where you want something that is strict at the end, like is it going to rain, or do I have clothes outside? Is there a package at my door? And it's working great. If you have ideas about image generation, then do it. Like experiment with it and share it, because it's cool. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, I'm going to speed up things a little bit because we're getting into a time issue. Yeah, it's becoming like problematic slowly. But we have more this release. Yes, believe it or not, we're not even through the main features yet. We need to talk about voice as well.
Oh, what a nice bridge. Yes.
I can make a very quick demo then.
Yeah, I mean, my stuff is broken. So yeah, it's
just a very quick demo.
2 demos.
2 demos, but only one because I'm going to do it at the same time. Let's start by the beginning. Yes, exactly. Let's start by the first one, which is simple. If you use our voice assistant and you control entities that are in the same room as the voice assistant, for example, if I say turn off the light, hey Jarvis, turn off the lights. Then it's going to make a beep. I don't know if you heard the beep. It's not going to say anymore the verbal confirmation. So if the actions are in the same room, non-verbal confirmation. If the actions are somewhere else, we consider that you don't see them, verbal confirmation. We can go, we can talk about more about why, etc., but it's on the release note, and it's pretty simple.
It does not work for AI.
Does not work for AI, yes.
Yeah.
Just say.
Sorry for that, yes. Demo time, mute all of your voice assistants. Yeah. Second one, which is much more interesting. Secretly, for a very, very long time, all of our voice assistants, even the small Atom Echo, like the $13 one, they had the possibility of running multiple wake word model at the same time. This is just something that we never enabled.
Yeah.
And now we can. So before demo, then after I will show you how it looks on the UI, but it's very simple. You have now the possibility of saying, I want to enable 2 wake words, and I'm going to link them to 2 different pipelines with 2 different assistants, I'm sorry. We see 2 main use cases of it. And I think that the main one is this one. Hey, Jarvis. Hey, Jarvis. Turn off the lights. OK, Nabo. Allume la lumière. Multilingual household. Like, more or less, if you have very simple. But now, basically, you can say, this one is my English wake word. This one is my French wake word. Another use case that we think could be useful for some users is this wake word is cloud-based. This wake word is local-based. Or, for example, non-AI enabled, AI enabled. You do whatever you want. Or even like you can have like a serious one, funny one. You know, like OK, Nabu is serious and Hey Jarvis is my pirate, for example.
Yeah. And this has all been made possible because Kevin, who is our magician for microcontrollers, he has been relentlessly optimizing our stack for micro wake word. He's also the creator of micro wake word, which is our open source wake word engine without commercial strings attached, which was something that wasn't out there, and Kevin made it. And because it's so fast, like the fact that it can run on the Atom Echo, the $13 one, that's not even an ESP32 S3. That's like an ESP32, right?
Yeah.
And it just runs amazingly fast. So the faster our code runs, the more features we can add, like a second wake word. Which, by the way, it's actually a third wake word because we also always listen to the wake word stop, right? If the timer is ringing, you can just say stop. It will fire it. That's actually a wake word.
Yeah.
That thing is so
just
smart,
by the way,
actually.
to see how it looks, it's fairly simple. Should be self-explanatory. You go to the device page of your voice assistant. So, for example, the one in my office was this one, and there is my name is in French, so my name are in French, but there is a wake word and a wake word number 2. So, OK Nabu and Hey Jarvis. And then like there is a small 2 there, and you link them to 2 assistants. Preferred in my system is French, and then the second one is in English. So Hey Jarvis is in English, OK Nabu is in French.
And the beauty of this system, the way exposing these entities, is that you can automate it, right? So you can, maybe people enter the room and you're like having AI analyze their clothes and then change it to an assistant that only talks about the colors of their clothes or whatever. So
this can be used in so many weird ways, but it's cool. Like being able to switch this stuff on the fly. You could use one of the wake words to command which wake word is active or something.
When we did the phone one, I remember making a demo about like I want to talk to the manager, and then it was basically moving to like the manager AI.
Stuff like that. Stuff like that. Yeah, it's going to be weird. All right, but that's the voice stuff. There's more voice stuff coming soon, I think.
Soon, yes. Didn't make the release. We're cooking.
Right. We're cooking. Yeah.
Mike is on it.
Yeah, he is.
No doubt.
Mike the voice.
Yeah.
All right. A glance into what else is in this release, because there's this is the major highlights of this release, I think. Did we catch everything? No, we didn't. There's still a UI thing. Look at this graph.
Oh, the graphs.
Oh.
Wait, can you share your screen?
Yeah, you should probably share your screen.
I have one if you want.
No one can look at your graphs.
Give me a second.
No, I don't have graphs.
I have one. I just need 1 second.
My system is not usable. I've teared it down fully because of the moving parts. So
yeah.
I literally have nothing. Like,
okay,
I was going to say,
have one.
A lot of people don't know that.
Phew. Okay, where is the screen? Where is the button?
But I know JL had something.
So prepared. Okay, so.
Okay.
Go ahead, Frank. Too many cooks. History panel. So being able to see different entities through time, which is something that has been done for a long time. This is a nice display because it's like a cause and consequences. I opened my window there, and then the temperature in my bedroom dropped. And also for a long time we were able to zoom, except that when we were zooming on a graph, we were not zooming on the other graph. When you think about it, if you are trying to make data analysis about, is this caused by that, it was a bit complex. Now, if you zoom on one graph, if I would zoom on the correct screen, that would be better. Sorry. If you zoom on one graph, then you zoom also on the other one, so you can see that I opened my window there, and then the temperature dropped more or less.
This
Again,
is such
we don't
a
need to talk
genius
about
contribution.
It's fairly small, but it works very well. So yeah. So you can zoom on graph, by the way, by doing command and drag in if you want to have something particular, or just command and the scroll wheel on your mouse if you want. So both of them works. So if you want to really know like what happened there, then you can see, okay, Windows was open there, and then I closed it there. It kept basically rising. So yeah.
This is one of those features. It is a contribution, by the way. Thank you, Berian, who contributed this. It's just one of those things you're like, why wasn't it like that? Yes, to begin with, right? Like, it's just such, it's indeed, Andrew McGillen is writing genius. It is genius indeed. So thank you so much for that contribution.
Yeah.
All right. Something else in this release are new integrations, and we have a whole list of them. I haven't counted them. Actually, no, I'm thinking about it, so I don't even know how many, but count with me then. Some interesting ones to highlight in here, because I think we don't have the time to go over all of them extensively, but I personally like Droplet in this list a lot. Droplet is a device you can clamp onto your water pipe, and it can actually measure the water flow that goes through it, and is able to detect leakage, but also water usage and flow rate and things like that. And it's kind of nice, because if you don't have a water meter which you can access or read out, this is something you can just clamp onto any water pipe. I met them at CES in January, and it's just so cool that they went through, and it's now here, and it's contributed actually. So it's very nice to see Droplet landing in the Home Assistant ecosystem for anybody who wants to get more grip on their water usage and cannot use their meter, basically. Pretty cool.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to try this. It's amazing, actually.
Yeah. Ariane KMI, if you're in Belgium, you might enjoy this. It's your local regional weather forecasting in the Belgium country, which is the National Weather Forecasting Institute, which is pretty nice. So you get like really local weather. Libra hardware monitor, good to see another open source project being integrated, always good to see. And what most people would probably like a lot is Portainer, is dropping into our core. Right now, it's the binary sensor that just gives a status of if your container is running, yes or no. But I already have seen contributions to extend this one, but at least it's now in.
Nice. You can turn off Home Assistant from Home Assistant?
Not yet. It's just a binary sensor, but I guess that could be the result. Like, don't mess up that automation, I would say, yeah. Smart meter B route. You can connect smart meters to B route protocol. It's apparently used in the Japanese market. So if you're in there, that's cool. You can now read out data. SFTP storage. Absolute banger on one edition here. In case you don't know what it is, but SSH is basically a way to connect to other terminals of other Linux machines. You can also transfer files over it, which is then called SFTP. And you can use it to store backups on remote Linux boxes, basically, in a secure way.
Nice. I missed that one. Nice.
Yeah,
a really cool addition. Usage prediction, we talked about that. This is an integration that figures out which entities you're been using lately a lot and interacting with. It's used on the home dashboard that we showed earlier. So it's an internal integration, but nevertheless, a new integration added by Paul is here. And Victron is showing up here, for which I'm truly excited, by the way, to see something Victron-ish ending up in the Home Assistant. It's Victron is pretty much known for all of their energy-related and stuff like batteries, inverters, and all kinds of off-grid systems, which is highly popular in more the higher tech communities that are interested in those things. It's like DIY, but not full DIY based kind of deal. It's pretty nice stuff, to be fair. Noteworthy and other improvements. The first one, Paul, take it away. I know you want to talk about it, but
I'm really stoked about this one. So Philips, they launched Motion Aware. Motion Aware is with they launched a new hub called I think it's called UHub Pro. But they have this new feature called Motion Aware, which will turn Zigbee lights, Zigbee U lights in your U ecosystem hub into motion sensors. So you enter a room, and as long as you walk between the lights, it will sense that, and it will be detected as a motion event. And it's all local, and it works surprisingly well. JLo have made a very cool demo.
Yeah, I think I can try. If you look at my screen, my face, like if I move like this, no, it's not going to work because I was already there. I wanted to. So this is Motion Aware. So but if you enter a room, it works better.
It looks so different to motion sensor in your demo.
I don't have motion sensors. But
I'm super impressed with the technology and that they've been able to roll it out to the whole U ecosystem. So this is really cool. And Marcel has made sure that all these sensors, we have virtual sensors, of course, they are now part of Home Assistant, right? So you can actually use the motion sensors from your Philips Hue lights in Home Assistant for other automation. So maybe you want to have that room join music assistants, music playing or whatever, right? Like you can just now do all that stuff, which is really cool.
Two things. Not to the whole Philips Hue light line is a bit more complex than that. Very old lights do not support Motion Aware. So if you go to a room settings, they will tell you which light is supported. I forgot the second one. Sorry, and it's you need 3 lights at least 3 lights, and actually you can use either 3 or 4 lights in a room to be basically create some kind of like a mesh, and then you walk in between this mesh, right? So
so you need one at the entrance, really.
Yeah, for example, like on my entryway, I have only 1 light, so that's not a Motion Aware area because there is only one.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
If you have a room packed of U lights, this could be like a free motion sensor that works, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
No extra sensor placed inside, right?
We gotta keep going because there's 2.5 minutes left.
We're not going to make it.
No.
LG keeps pumping out their own stuff. Some energy sensors in some cases have been provided, which is really, really nice.
This is the company LG working on the LG integration, by the way, right? These are people in Korea that are writing Python for Home Assistant. Like, this is very cool. Like, the fact that such a big company that's literally in every kind of appliance you can think of, they are also working on Home Assistant. That's really awesome.
EcoWave now supports the LDS sensor. This is a distance sensor. So you could, for example, use it. I know Marcel used it for swimming pool height, water height. You can use it for, I don't know, salt water levels or salt levels in your water softener, things like that. Pretty cool. Reolink is, of course, in here. I must be honest, I've seen Reolink is in here every month. So at this point, they keep adding stuff. It's interesting, but I've been at the Reolink booth in the IFA in Berlin a few weeks back. They are doing some local AI stuff upcoming year. This is looking so good, by the way. And it was so nice to see a company actually doing AI and then focusing on local control and the privacy part of it there. It was absolutely beautiful and stunning. They're rightfully a partner of Home Assistant, works with the Home Assistant program in that regard. What else? Lutron Cassetta. A lot of people are excited on this one. Multi-tap actions for the advanced button controls. Absolutely stunning addition. I've seen comments with like, I've been waiting for 5 years for this one. It's here. Thanks for the contribution. And Shelly has a bunch of new devices here. New sensors, at least, for the devices. And new visual button support. SwitchBot, both SwitchBot integrations, the local one and the cloud one, keep expanding, which is cool.
Nice.
And Timo, down here,
Who's that?
there he is. Yeah, now power usage sensor for the system bridge integration, which is actually a pretty interesting thing, to be fair. It's a little app you can install on your computer, and then it transfers data and controls of your computer to your home assistant.
I'm currently using 208 watts.
Wow.
Yeah.
You should switch to ARM.
Switch to ARM, yeah, that would help.
Oh, yeah.
Another good addition here is
Oh.
Tesmoda, supporting cameras. So if you
Yes, and that means Tesmoda can be used for AI tasks. So spread those microcontrollers through your house, the laundry, the parking spots, your water meter reading, your chicken coop counting. Is there any bread left? Like, is there, whatever. You do it with these kind of like cheaper microcontrollers running Tesmoda.
Counting stuff, you don't need good quality. You can do it with very low quality image. Actually, it's even faster. So yeah,
definitely. Timber, this one is kind of interesting for people in Europe that have dynamic tariffs or dynamic energy prices, like I have. I am a Timber customer myself. In Europe, we now switch to, instead of a per hour pricing model, which the dynamic tariffs were, as of today, actually, it's a 15-minute pricing window. So every 15 minutes, my energy tariffs change. The Timber integration has been adjusted for that. So you now have the 15-minute prices. And you can use that to automate on right on time, actually. Tuya got a lot of love from a few people, lots of support for new device types and things in there, complete new categories, bunches of new sensors. So and this includes contributions by Tuya themselves. There's a developer from Tuya actually working on this, which is pretty nice, but also some community contributions. It's nice to see that integration receiving a bunch of love and moving forward. The Workday integration now has a calendar.
Good. I mean, look, it should have been a calendar all along, but I think Workday existed before calendar.
Before the calendar, yeah. That thing used to exist in YAML as a binary sensor manually, actually, as a platform, long time ago. And Notify had a big upgrade as well. So if you're using that, there are some new toys to play with. Some quality skill improvements. We have 3 new integrations reaching Platinum, Android TV Remote, Miele, and Sleep as Android. But also the silver ones, Samsung and Whirlpool. And then the bronze ones next to me as Opower and Sonos. What appeals to me in this list is how there are quite large brands showing casing there, like having Miele up there, Samsung in there, Whirlpool appliances, and Sonos that are slowly crawling up this list. Is just amazing, but every other one too, of course. All right. Now in the UI, Nederlandse Spoorwegen, which is the Dutch railroad tracks, basically, and Satel Integra. Always cool to see them moving to the UI. And last but not least, we have the other.
Oh, this one is a big one. I think this one, it kind of fell out a little bit last release, but we pulled it back in. We pulled it back, but Logbook has been renamed to Activity. So this is a user-facing change, so your actions are not changing. If you write your own logbook messages, everywhere you saw the word logbook, it is now called Activity. And so, of course, this also means translations will need to be updated for every, if you use it in French, German, whatever, there needs to be a decision made how that's going to be translated. In English, Activity just way better explains what is happening, right? Like, what happened in my house? Well, the activity feed is going to show you that. The logbook, I guess when I picked that name, I don't know. It just, It
also takes away the confusion with look at your logs.
I was going to say that. That's exactly where I get confused. Every time it say look at your logs, I click logbook and then be like, fuck, not this one.
Exactly.
So, yeah, no, it really helps with that.
Yeah.
A lot of better expansion as well this release. Good to see. Thank everybody for contributing there. Super nice. And yeah, voice control improvements. The analog clock has some more options, which we actually wrote about. So this is a duplicate. I guess we added this before we removed the other one or added the other one. No, we didn't put it in all. Whatever. And this one is cool. The mobile app. If you ever wondered which version of the app am I running, if you now have the latest app and from now forward, of course, and you have the latest Home Assistant and from now forward, of course, if you go to System and then to About, you not only will see the version of Home Assistant and the supervisor and whatever else is running under the hood there, it will also show you the version of the mobile app you're using to view that page. Nice little addition there that came via I'm not sure which channel to us, but it was added pretty quickly because it's just a darn good idea. Thermostat card support water heater entities, super cool. Add-ons got some awful holes in here. The UI of add-ons can now support more complex configurations. For example, if you added the configuration of the mosquito add-on, user management is now possible. So you can add multiple users and such without doing YAML magic there. It's just generating UI. But also we have an entity now which can start and stop add-ons from running. So you can actually like shut down certain add-ons automatically in automations if you want to. The webhook trigger can now be templated, and we have a bunch of new units of measurements for certain types of device classes. Pretty cool addition. Then the last bit, that's it. Yeah, the last bit, that's also always not the fun bit, but this year is the backwards incompatible changes. I don't think there is actually much to talk about except the first one. Targeting labels in an automations and scripts. JLo, is this something you could highlight and explain?
Yes, but I cannot demo it because I
that's okay.
forgot. You can label things in Home Assistant. So you can add many labels to many entities, many devices, many areas if you want. And then you can target those labels. One of the things... Oh boy, it's going to be complex to explain, right? We're on the spot there, Frank.
Sorry, I can try if you want to. That's fine.
No, it's fine. Like okay. So all of the configuration entities of a device, things that we consider less important. For example, like on the voice preview edition, for example, we have one for the small sounds that it makes when you say the wake word. You know, you say okay, beep. It's make a small sound. For example, this is one of the configuration entity. You can toggle it. You can automate on it. And one of the things that I wanted to do was saying, oh, I'm going to enable all of those in all of my house into like a target that I'm calling, a label that I'm calling like the wake sound switches. And then I'm just going to toggle them off or turn them on, turn them off based on, you know, if I'm sleeping, for example. And this was not working because we were not targeting secondary entities. So all of the entities that were considered diagnostics and configurations. And now we do. Not a big change, but if you do target on labels, it should work as you were expecting. That's what I'm going to say. If you were targeting entity devices or areas, it's still going to be used the same logic as before. If you are targeting specific entities, we are always going to target them.
Yeah. So the backstory here is that previously, like the reason why we filter out config and diagnostic entities is that you would say turn off the lights in the living room, and it would turn off the small light indicator on your Sonos as well because it was a light entity. But that's actually a config option, right? So when you control the lights, of course, you only want to control the lights that influence the light in the space and not any config options. So we always filtered those out. But with labels, it makes a lot more sense to just target them because you added that label. This is a user-defined thing and not a Home Assistant-defined thing.
Yep. Definitely. I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, then bear in mind this.
Yeah,
no,
it's probably not for you.
Just scroll back 5 minutes and watch it again. And
yeah, exactly. But if you're using automations to target things using labels, make sure
good news,
everything works. It's normally good news, but please make sure everything still works as expected and everything turns on and off as you expected. Basically, that's probably the best way to check it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes up this release, and it's a huge one. We made it. Only 8 minutes over.
I just want to highlight something it's something that I like about the community overall. We have a control shift control. Can I add my screen to the stage for like 1 second?
Sure. Last time.
I cannot add. So we have a control shift for undo.
Perfect.
Thank you, JP.
Nice.
Just like,
well, quickly done, JP.
I just find it interesting, like.
Which one is going to be shown in the UI? We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Matega already installed this version. Nice. Well done. Yeah, what have we held? There was also a question. What the heck? It came by a few times. I just want to highlight quickly because I see that question a few times. The month of what the heck is something we organize every 2 years.
Yeah.
Once every 2 years, basically. We did it in 2024, which means this year there's no month of what the heck. You have to wait another year. You're too early. Yes, you're a year too early at this point. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
Just 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Just to, and the biggest releases for this year are still to come.
I know.
Ooh,
Guys,
yeah.
we are working on such amazing things. There's going to be an ESP Home live stream you don't want to miss. October 14th, 2 weeks from now. It's going to be really good. There's some exciting features coming that will blow your mind. And so, yeah, super excited about that one. There are some other things cooking for releases. And outside of our release window, we're launching maybe something we know. Other cool things. So definitely like and subscribe to the channel so you get notified. Subscribe to the newsletter. Subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud. Support our work. Join our Discord. Apply to our job.
Like, subscribe, bell icon.
Whatever, all that thing.
Everything. Do everything.
Everything. And more importantly, straight after this one, we're running a little bit late, but we are heading over to Discord. And there's, if you can get there with this link, like homeassistant.io/join chat. And there's a community stage there. We will head out there. It's basically the after party. We're hanging out there, AMA. Join us on stage, ask us anything. Sometimes we spoil stuff, what's coming. So it's kind of fun to be there. So if you like to hang out a little bit more, then this is where you go after the stream.
Awesome.
Well,
thank you all.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you all next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.